Today we're going to show you how to connect the G10 and G14 Hypervibe models to the free Hypervibe video training app. If you are not terribly techy and haven't worked with a lot of apps in the past, there's a couple of steps that I will take you through today to make sure that you have an easy setup. So the first thing we're going to do, if you've just gotten your device, is we're going to download the Hypervibe app. I would recommend that you be connected to your home Wi-Fi connection for this. There is some data streaming and we want to make sure that we're not eating up your data plan and you get the quickest connection possible. So we're going to launch. I'm on the iPad, as I said, so I'm going into the App Store. On your Android device, it would be Google Play. Go into your search option and type Hypervibe. And you'll notice as I start typing, it will pre-select, it'll show Hypervibe vibration machine. You can select that when it appears. And you're going to see that there's a Hypervibe app icon. And on the top right-hand corner of the screen, it will ask you to give you the option to download it. So select that. It's going to take just a few seconds to download. Before we actually go in and open the app, we're going to make sure, first of all, that our Bluetooth connection is activated. We're going to go back to our home screen, go into your device settings, and unlike other devices, your speaker, other things you may be using with Bluetooth, you do not actually connect the machine through Bluetooth here, although we do need to make sure that it's turned on. So we're going to turn Bluetooth on. We now know that that's on. We're going to go back to our main screen. You'll see that the Hypervibe app is installed on my home screen. We're now going to make sure that the machine is turned on. There's a power switch at the back. As soon as I've done that, you'll see a red flashing light on the display that lets you know that the machine has power. Now on your remote control or on the console on the machine, select the red power button. You'll see the display on the console comes up. And once you're connected to the device with the app, you will not be able to use your remote control to change the settings. That'll be controlled through the app. So now we're going to open up the Hypervibe app. And I'm going to turn it this way so you can see the proper display. You'll get a dialog box that comes up and asks, would you like to connect to a Hypervibe machine? Well, yes, I would. So we're going to select. Now it's going to bring up a list of available devices. Now ours comes up as HM Soft, currently says disconnected. And to the far right, there's a little pencil indicating that you can edit something. And what this purpose is for is if you'd like to name your device. So if I wanted to call this machine Deb's Vibe or My Vibe or something like that. More importantly, with the wonders of Bluetooth, you can actually connect up to 8 different Hypervibe machines through the one device. So if you're in a business, a clinic where you want to run some group classes, some wellness or some fitness, you can connect up to 8 individual Hypervibes and control them centrally through the app. And you may want to use that edit function to name each of your machines, you know, Vibe 1, Vibe 2, Hypervibe 3, 4, just so you know which machines are active. So we're going to, for today, to connect to Bluetooth, you're just going to select, don't hit the pencil to edit, hit the HM Soft, and you'll go into another screen that says connected, but you'll see there's a little switcheroo to the right. So if you select that, you now see, ta-da, a blue light indicating that we are now connected via Bluetooth. If you were to look close at that blue light on your screen, then you'll see that it's actually the little Bluetooth symbol. So now we're going to go, it says up here with a little arrow, Bluetooth. We're going to select that and go back. We now know that we are connected. And we're going to go back and just do one little maintenance step before I show you how this thing actually works. So there's 2 ways to operate the machine, manual mode or programs. We're going to go into programs first. And this is only going to be something you have to do the first time that you download the app, and you don't need to be connected to Bluetooth to do this. But once you select programs, you'll see there's a rainbow category of different categories. One is active aging, weight loss, women's health and beauty, performance and recovery, and relieve and revive. What you want to do is on the far right hand side, if this is the first time you've downloaded the app, you'll see that there is a little download icon, and that might look like a cloud with an arrow or a black arrow depending on your device. But again, make sure you're connected to your home Wi-Fi. To the right, select one of those, and what you'll notice is once I selected that, it's now changed to pause, and there's a very slight blue progress bar. So If you've ever gotten an email where there's pictures but you can't quite see the pictures, sometimes you got to authorize your computer and say, I know there's pictures, it's okay, I want to see those. Same thing kind of happens on an app nowadays. So there's a lot of video content here with the exercises, and your phone just wants to make sure that you're authorizing that those videos be populated into the programs. So what you can do is you can select all of those, and you'll see that they're now all downloading. It's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes for these to download. So while we're waiting for those to download, hit the home button and let's just go into manual mode, the green bar, for just a second. So just some very basics about the display on the app and what you're looking at doing certain things. Excuse me. In manual mode right now, the machine is not running. So we're displayed at 0 hertz, which is the frequency or the speed of your machine. You've got the option to quit, which will take you back to your home meet, or you can start. What you'll do when you hit the start button, the machine gets going, and we're started at a minimum speed of 5 hertz. Across the top of the screen, you're going to see 3 different colors, and within them they say low, medium, and high, and they've got a G-force value represented below that. What that is depending on where you have placed your feet on the platform, whether they're at the L, the M, or the H position, that's an indication at this frequency the amount of G-force that you're exposing yourself to. As you increase frequency, you will also see the values increase in G-force to correspond with that. The biggest control that you have when you get into the programs is this feature. Your frequencies are set. We're just going to pause this. When you are using, we're going to hit the home button. When you're using the app, your frequencies are set in the programs and you won't be able to adjust those. So I'm going to just go back into programs now, and you'll see that all of our programs have successfully downloaded all of the videos that go with them. So if you're ever using your app and there's a video missing or there's no videos at all, that's a common thing. You want to make sure that you've done all of those downloads. If you ever delete the app or get a new device and reload the Hypervibe app, you will need to go through those steps and do those downloads again. So I just want to show you some functions about the programs themselves. We're going to go into the active aging category. And within the active aging category, you're now going to come up to another menu with a variety of different programs. So within that program, or within that category, there are a number of programs, anything from introduction, some strong and stable, some bone density, some pelvic floor, depending on what your goals are. To the right, it's going to show you the number of exercises you can expect within that program. And the next category is how long or the duration you can expect it will take to complete that entire program. On the far right, you'll notice that there's some stars here. And if you've ever played with favorites on your computer, what that is as you've gone through some of the categories and found a few programs that you like to do regularly, you can select one as a favorite and keep that front and center. If maybe you don't remember the name of the program, you've gone through something, you can say, hey, I like that, and just select that as one of your favorites. So just to show you a bit more function, let's go into a program. So we're going to go into the first one, which is the introduction. Once you've selected a particular program, you're going to see now the list of exercises within that program. You may not be a terribly active person now, and sometimes names of exercise or positions isn't something you're familiar with, and you want to know, what is that? What is a normal stance, or what is a calf raise? So if you just select, you're going to actually get a preview of what you're about to do or what that exercise looks like. So in this example, you see that she's standing on the machine, feet are about hip width apart. She's probably at position M, just to give you an idea. Her knees are slightly bent. That's something that we always recommend. And so, if that looks like something that you're okay performing, then at least you know what you've signed up for. What we're going to do is we're back at the main screen. If there is an exercise within that, on the far right hand side here, you'll see these green tabs. You can turn on or turn off an exercise at any time. So once you've worked through a program, maybe there's a position that's a little too challenging for you, or it's not challenging enough and it's not really your cup of tea. So you can set a customize, and the program will only play the exercises that you've got turned on. So what we're going to do now to show you how it works in a program, we're going to hit the start button. And it'll give you a little bit of a precursor. It says get ready, tells you the machine is going to be preset at 12 hertz. And the suggested foot placement in this position we're suggesting is an L. So your feet are going to be a little bit closer together. Those knees are slightly bent. Up here, it was a 45-second exercise in duration. This is your little timer of the time counting down. Again, this is the frequency, the hertz that you're working with. If you find that this is a little bit too aggressive and you want to reduce the intensity, you could bring your feet slightly closer together. The opposite is true. If you want a little bit more intensity, you don't have the ability to adjust the frequency in the programs, but you could widen up your foot or hand position to get a little bit more activity. If you're in the middle of an exercise and you're fatigued or you just don't like the exercise, there's also a skip button at the bottom that you can skip an exercise. We've now, between each exercise, moved on to what we call our rest period. Between each exercise, there is a built-in rest on all of our programs. It's a very common question we get, do I have to do the rest? Everybody's a little bit different. We've got almost 40 programs in here, but there's millions of you out there. So there is going to be ways that you'll want to customize this for your body type and what you're trying to accomplish. So a lot of our clients, I say, go ahead if you want to, just go ahead and skip that rest. So it's also going to bring you now to the next exercise, which is a repeat of the basic stance. We're still in a bit of a warm-up. And as that starts, again, maybe this is an exercise, I want to move on to something else, or you just want to surf through the program and see what all of this looks like, you can go ahead and skip. And you can keep doing that. Maybe the phone rings or someone's at the front door and you just need to take a break and get away from the machine for a bit. You can hit the pause button and you can go answer the door and do what you got to do, and from once you come back you can hit the resume button. I will caution if you pause the program, like many things, this is more of a Bluetooth thing. If you're away for an extended period of time, your device will go to sleep and you'll lose that Bluetooth connection and you'll have to reactivate and start over at the beginning of the program. So if you had just come back after a short period, you could simply select resume and it's going to take off again on you for you there. So we're going to quit for now. I'm going to go back. There's your categories again. Home. A couple troubleshooting things I do just want to say. If you're having any issues connecting with your Bluetooth device, be very wary of local interference within your home or your business. Maybe you've got a big Wi-Fi router right beside you, or you've got other things you're using with Bluetooth. If you're having any connectivity issues with your Bluetooth, usually 9 times out of 10 anyways, it's definitely related to interference. So make sure you haven't got some big super router 2 feet away from where you're working out with this. The other thing that commonly happens if you're not a regular app user, you click your home button, you go about your day and you go to the grocery store and you come back and you decide you want to work out again. When you exit the app, you don't actually close the app. If you do a double click on an Apple device, I'm not sure exactly on a Android, you'll want to get into your home screen, but it'll show you all of the applications that you have open within your device. So even though we've exited the Hypervibe app, it's still open here. And because we've got our Bluetooth activated, this app is always looking for the machine to connect. So if you get out of distance with the machine, the app is kind of always looking for the device. So you'll get some messages bottled up in there. If you're done, you want to make sure you have no reconnection issues next time, just slide and close the app. Or go into your applications under apps and you'll be able to actually close it manually in there as well. If you have any questions, give us a call or book a time with one of our trainers to get some support connecting your device if you're having any issues we haven't been able to address today.